Hello and welcome to Pinball Reviews. I'm Luke and today we're going to be looking at this 2011 Tron Legacy pinball machine released by Stern. This is the Pro model and it has loads of nice toys and lots of good shots. We can have a little look and see how I did in a game against Pete, who is the manager and runs Special When Lit in Salisbury. Let's see how I got on. So first up, I've done a gentle plunge, and what I've tried to do is get into that little scoop there. You'll see it spit out in a moment. This is a bit tricky because it can bounce around quite quickly. I've let it just bounce off both the flippers like you might do on a Twilight Zone, and then cradle it on the right. Different players will do different things with that, but it's up to you what you think is the easiest way of dealing with that kick out, and it does happen quite often. Now that kick out is really useful because it lets you start a lot of your multiballs. You can see there's a few different little triangular inserts pointing towards it, and they'll let you know that your multiball is ready to collect or ready to start, just like you might on a game like say Monster Bash for example. Now the multiballs on this, one of the ones that I usually go for first is the what are they called? Light cycle shots. So those are the orange flashing shots. There's 4 or 5 of them, and once you've hit a certain number of those it will then light ready for multiple, and so you're ready to get into that. Unfortunately I've not quite done it yet. Pete has gone for a full plunge and he's let it come down to the flippers. He's not had a lot of luck there, it seems to have just drained down the side, so he's gone for the gentle plunge, which if you miss the little scoop it will just come down to the flippers generally anyway. He's now going to go for, what's he going for? Looks like he's going for the top disc in the middle there. This is one of the other main multiballs of this game. There's 3 main ones that I can think of at the moment. There's the light cycle, which is a 2-ball multiball. There's Q Aura, which allows you to add a ball as you're playing, and he's just lowered 3 little targets there similar to Attack from Mars, and behind them there's a little spinning disc. That is your disc multiball, which is one of the main multiballs. You have to hit about 7 or 8 times. There's quite a few shots in there, but it is a 3-ball multiball, so it's really worth going for and gives you a lot of points. And it makes sense to go for this quite early on. Trouble is, as you can see when it comes out of there, it does spin around, it does bounce around. That does add a lot of spin to the ball as well, so that's something you have to be wary of, because if you try and cradle as it comes down, it can roll off the end of the flipper if you're not careful. He's got the multiple going in this, and what's quite nice about the disc multiple is if he does drain and he only ends up with 1, he can shoot it back into the disc to restart this multiple, so that's worth knowing on this game. Now he's got loads bouncing around there. He's probably going for the blue shots because that'll get you points whilst you're in the disc mode, which is most of the main shots in the game. Here it is in fisheye, and it just keeps kicking out that kick out. As you can see, it's very fast when it comes out of there. Maybe down to the last 1 ball. As you can see, got it into the disc again, and that will have restarted his multi-ball with any luck. There we go, and there's his balls back. I only see 2, I think should there be 3 I would have thought. Oh well, now, this game, we'll talk a little bit about the history of it, what I like and what I'm not so keen about it. First up, it's designed by a very famous pinball designer called John Borg. He's made loads of different machines. He made Pete's Train, there you go, never mind. He set a target to catch up with anyway. John Borg has designed Guardians of the Galaxy, The Walking Dead, Metallica, which was reviewed a little while ago. If you want to see that, have a look back at that. Also X-Men, Avatar, Kiss, Iron Man, and some of his older games, Last Action Hero. All of those games, good fun games to play. He's made some others as well, which personally I'm not too keen on. Austin Powers, I've only played once before, I wasn't particularly keen on it. High Roller Casino, I've only ever played it on a computer version. And Indiana Jones, they made a 2007 version, and unfortunately something just didn't quite click with that game. But Tron is a standout game in the modern era of Stern, I'd say. It's got some really nice shots, some interesting use of toys. The pop bumpers are a little bit further down the field, but they're not right above the side lanes or the out lanes like you might have on one of Pat Lawler's games. So it's not too dangerous. They're in the middle. I've drained as well, but I have got, I think, Cure and Light Cycle both lit. I was just trying to get in that scoop again to start my multi-ball, so I'm sort of set up for my next ball here, I believe. So what's nice about this game? Really good shots, nice couple of ramps here. As you can see on the table there's the orange and green bits flashing. Then I've got multi-ball, that's the animation for light cycle. I think we've got the animation for Cura as well, so I've not ever had, to be honest, both multi-balls going at once, and it looks like it's just giving me both of them. There's double scoring, and I've got 2 balls going at the moment. There might be a third one somewhere, maybe without a ball. There you go, 3 altogether. So trick here is to now try and trap up and see what I should be aiming for. I know with light cycle you want to keep going through those light cycle shots, all those orange ones, so that's one there on the ramp, and to keep going for them until you score lots of points, I suppose, in the mode. Cura, like I say, if you keep hitting it around a little green shot, a little spinner just on the right of the top left ramp, that will give you extra balls in multi-ball, so it's a really good multi-ball to go for, even though it is a bit of a tight, narrow shot. The disc multi-ball seems like the easier one to go for because there's 3 targets right at the top there in the middle. However, just like Attack from Mars, you could consider them a bit of a sucker shot, because if you go for them you might drain straight down the middle. So still got one trapped up, which is pretty good going. I'm catching up a little bit here with Pete. I'll admit this was actually the second game me and Pete played on this. First game Pete got about 30 million, I got about 10 million. So I fancied another go, to be honest, to try and up my score a little bit and play a bit of a better game. Now, things I like about this game, I'd say I like the fact that there's 3 flippers. You've got a really nice ramp shot off. There's a top left flipper you can't quite see in this shot, but that shoots it up where you can see a sort of red flashing arrow at the moment. That's a really nice fun shot to make. Another good thing about it, there's a few different skill shots. Yeah, I haven't got quite enough to catch up with Pete yet. There's various skill shots to go for, like I say, the gentle plunge to get it into the scoop, and there's also, if you hit that ramp as it goes all the way around on a full plunge, and then if you get it into the scoop you get points for a combo called End of the Line. Pete seems to have light cycle again, so he's got another multi-ball, which should certainly help him out. There's also a nice shot through the pop bumpers. You can see it's the furthest to the right flashing orange shot, a little red arrow above it, and that shot there is around the right outer loop, and that's quite a nice shot, but sometimes if you miss just a little bit, obviously it will bounce around off the pop bumpers, so it's a nice sort of dangerous shot to go for. Now there's a mix of tricky shots and easy shots. The left ramp is fairly straightforward to go for, and the middle disc ball shot is fairly straightforward as well, but there are some really tight narrow shots, like I said, the one through the pop bumpers, and there is one just between the right ramp and those 3 targets at the top, 3 yellow ones, which is a very, very narrow little shot, which you need to complete some of the modes in this game, so it's very tricky to get, but satisfying that it's there. It's a nice mix of different shots in this game, so it's good for a quick blast, but it's also good if you want to try and work your way up through each of the different modes. Other things I like about it, I do enjoy the end of line. I like getting the combos on multiple shots, and the fact that there's 3 flippers means you can certainly do that. It's extremely fast for a Stern machine. I mean, well, Sterns are generally quite fast anyway, but this one just seems like quite tight with the ramps and things at the top. It is quite a narrow, fast, enjoyable game. Reminds me maybe of, say, Genesis, if you want to get an idea of like an older machine which has a similar sort of speed and furiosity to it. Now, a few things that I'm not so keen on about this. There's not many, to be honest. It is a really good fun game. One thing I can think of, it's quite dark, I suppose. I mean, there's lots of flashing lights, lots of flashes. Oh dear, Pete's drained as well. I'm on my last ball here. 17 million. Pete's up at 22, so this is my last chance to catch up. We'll see how I go. So things I don't like. There's, like I say, it's quite dark, but that goes with the theme, so it's not a big issue. Next up, dealing with the kick out. If you saw when Pete was playing, he just tends to just smack it away as soon as it comes out of that kick out. Like I said, personally, I'd let it bounce off both the flippers, then try and cradle it to plan my shot. But I've not found a way which is particularly comfortable every time to make it easy. I've drained. I didn't quite get my multiple on the disc. I was going for it, but it didn't happen. I've got up to 22. I think I'm literally just shy a few points off Pete here, but never mind. I think he's starting just a little bit above me there. Never mind. So Pete's won, so well done to Pete. The other thing I can say I'm not so keen on, maybe the fact that the artwork is Photoshop, but to be honest, with this theme, it does work quite well. Oh, he's straight down the outside as well. So that's Tron at Special and Lit. Get down and have a go.